Disaleum to try and keep the spread of Nurgle's rot and co intact, and stop it from spreading to the adjacent areas. It's been a couple of days. You guys have been stuck in an officer's quarters, not a very highly ranked officer, mind you, kind of like a middle management. You have slightly more than just a bunch of bunk beds and a metal room to sit in. And you've pretty much just been keeping out of everybody's way since you don't really have much to do with the day-to-day running of the ship. You got debriefed by one of the Inquisitorial acolytes a day or so after you guys boarded the ship. And since then, you've pretty much just been sitting around getting your wounds treated by the onboard ship medics and just pretty much taking it easy, taking a couple days downtime after your strenuous search for the Xeno artifacts in Disaleum, which is now a smoking crater. So, what would you fine gentlemen have been doing up to this point in the bit of downtime that you've had?
I would have been looking for somebody to oil my leg and make it not be so cumbersome.
Keeping to myself, not showing my green parts.
Okay. All right, so Hippo, I'd like for you to roll a whatever you call it, charisma check, brain, fellowship test. That's what it's called.
Fellowship, you say?
Yes, to see if you find a willing tech priest to oil out some of them sweet Mechanicus leg parts.
Yes, I do, with 2 degrees of success.
Alrighty, you do find a tech priest that, takes a little bit of chatting to him since they tend to be a little bit insecure, but eventually you get to oil up your leg and bless it and apply the sacred unguents as needed be, and your leg is now not quite as squeaky as it used to be.
Does that change how it works at all?
You only half the penalty, unfortunately. Alright, so the rest of you guys just staying in your room for the time being, eh?
Well, I would have probably been learning how to use, because I picked up 2-weapon wielder since last time, ambidextrous and 2-weapon master. I'm going to presume I perfected my skills or something. I would also like to see if I could have gotten a secondary las pistol, because I only have one at the moment. So I can actually use the things.
Alright. And you, Mr. Matt, what did you say?
Well, I don't use guns much. I was mainly researching. I was doing some more research on things like demons.
All right, knowledge forbidden lord demons.
Well, yeah, demonology, which I assume is the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just spent my XP now. So I was really just doing that. I was also writing a detailed briefing for the Inquisitor.
No problem. Okay, so you guys keep yourself fairly busy. Letty, you don't find anybody that wants to sell you a pistol.
I've got a hand cannon if you want.
I mean, does it have any special restrictions on it? What are its traits?
Doesn't have any, I don't think.
Okay, fuck it. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't have any.
So, you guys spend the next couple of days taking it easy, recuperating, lying around, just being generally lazy schmoes. And on the 4th day, after the bombardment, you hear a knocking on the door to your quarters.
Sleepily, I nudge Anarius to go and get it.
Yeah.
What?
You hear the knocking on the door again!
I go and open the door.
I don't like talking to anybody now.
I have a hard time hearing.
You actually have an excuse.
I'm recovering. I have PTSD.
I close my book with a crack, and I walk over to the door. Hello? I'll open it.
As you open the door, you see a very crumpled-looking specimen of humanity standing there in greasy navy overalls, hair kind of like every which way, a mix of blonde, red, black. You're not actually sure what race or species he's originally from, but he looks human. And over his shoulder, he's got slung one of those enormous duffel bags that naval troopers usually use when they're on shore leave. And it looks to be empty at the moment. And you can see him kind of nervously glancing backwards and forwards down the corridor. you know, trying to see if anybody's keeping an eye out specifically for him.
May I help you?
Uh, um, um, I'm not really sure how to go about doing this, so I'm just going to put it out there, and if I'm in the wrong place, just send me down away and don't kill me. You wouldn't know a fella called Frederick by any chance, yeah?
It's been a while, sorry. Who's Frederick again? My bad.
Our
Hippo,
best
who's
friend.
Frederick?
He was the armorer for the Arbites.
Oh. Yes, we know Frederick.
Okay, well, yeah, so he did us a solid, so we're doing him a bit of a favor, and he said we should let you know if there's any of your swag you want upgraded. You need to put it in this year bag, and he'll have a look at it for you.
Oh, thank you. Do you want us to do it now, or will you collect the bag again in like half an hour or something? Should we drop it off somewhere?
I can come back if you need some more time. Not really supposed to be on this deck.
Swing back in half an hour. It'll be ready.
Can I like listen in and see if he's like lying?
Sure.
He sounds dubious.
What? Who's talking?
Yeah, didn't you get like ear replacements, Josh?
He got like good quality ears.
We told him they were good quality ears, Hippo. They're actually just two brass horns fused to the side of his face.
He kind of looks like Shrek now.
Think of that general from that really bad Will Smith Western movie.
Oh dear.
I did get really good ears.
We'll have Shrek ears.
Yeah, roll a check for me, Hippo.
What checky?
I'm trying to decide what would be scrutiny or would it be something else?
Isn't it scrutiny? I think specifically, it's designed against lying.
I think it's scrutiny. Yeah, make scrutiny for me. It's been a while. Bear with me. I'm fucking scrub at this.
No.
What did you roll?
8.
He seems pretty trustworthy to me.
Yeah, he seems trustworthy to you.
Let me scrutinize him.
I'll just grab my sniper rifle and say, "Oh, Frederick's such a great guy." And bung it in the bag.
All right, sniper rifle in the bag.
I will give him the law look and scrutinize him.
I give him the law look. Okay, go for it.
I have successfully scrutinized him.
I mean, he seems pretty trustworthy. It doesn't look like he's lying as far as you can tell.
I'm gonna put my hell pistol in the bag.
Holy shit, you have a hell pistol. Okay.
I don't know where I got it from, but I do. I'm not gonna complain.
I know we gave you a hell gun.
Well, there was also a hell pistol lying around, so I took that too.
Wow,
But I can't go
good.
around with a hell gun all the time. But a hell pistol I can, so I'm keeping that.
Alrighty. Anybody else tossing anything in the bag? Or was it just the pistol and the sniper rifle and the shotgun?
Shotgun.
Hey,
Betsy.
Lesky, put your power sword in there. It'll come back extra sharp.
But why? There's not really any. Doesn't really need any of these upgrades.
Are you
it's pretty
sure?
good on its own.
Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Nobody's
You got
touching
any-
this.
Got any upgrades for a burner and a last pistol?
Well, you have to just throw it in there. It's like a lucky packet.
Potluck.
Okay, I'll put my burner and my last pistol in there.
Has anyone got a cybernetic limb we can put in there?
I mean, my leg is kind of firmly attached to
Your
my
stump.
hip here.
And my ears
yeah,
are
like-
my ears.
You know,
Lydia, are you tossing in anything or not?
get a
No.
spanner. We're gonna take
My
it with
guns.
leg off.
Not your guns.
Not my guns. I am
Okay.
too much in
Chainsaw.
love with my guns.
You don't
Give me
want
the
a
new
modern
hand cannon.
Lord.
You see the poor guy's like kind of like, groaning under the weight of the bag, and he's like, okay, well, I'll bring us back later then. You see him start stumbling down the corridor away from you guys.
I grab him by his arm. So just
What's that,
remember,
Josh?
I grab him by his arm. I stare him in his eye. Just remember, I am the law.
He looks at you a little bit funnily, nods enthusiastically. He's like, okay.
As he's going off, like I'll just pass him 5 thrones as well. So my compliments to Frederick.
Sure. Thanks.
I don't know how much he gets paid, if he gets paid at all. I don't know if 5 thrones is a lot, but I'm giving him 5.
Alrighty, he disappears down the corridor.
Watching this culture, 5 kroner is exactly an insult.
That would be amazing.
Exactly one
alright.
insult.
The rest of the day passes uneventfully for the most part. Your comrade still practicing with his hand cannon and pistol, making exaggerated noises, and occasionally with exaggerated, old-timey kung fu movements from the lounge. He assures you that this is a very extremely potent fighting style, but you have your doubts. The rest of the day passes. Evening comes. And you're a very precise on the front door.
Someone,
Gun boy.
someone's knocking at the door. I heard it with my robot ears.
I once again close my book and head over to the door.
Stop. Okay. Trashy. No, what's your name again?
Whilst he's doing this, I would like to also
Hello?
go to the door.
What's Trashy's name again in the game?
Delimiter.
Wait, what?
Dylan.
It's written here.
Use your cybernetic ears to try to figure out who is behind the door.
I'm opening the door to see who's behind the door.
Roll for it.
On the other side of the door.
I will use my cyber ears
Yes.
to scrutinize who was there.
Okay, roll a perception test.
I rolled a 36.
And your thingy?
Let's see. It is not an aptitude.
You are not good at the perceivings?
No, I'm the best kind of police officer. Horrible at his job. I don't actually see that skill.
Perception is under characteristics.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah, so I rolled a 36 and then I have a skill of 40. I succeed.
Yes, you succeed. There's definitely somebody standing behind the door.
My robot ears tell me there is somebody there.
Yeah, the knock tipped us all off. I open the door. Hello?
Behind the door, you see a very severe-faced woman standing. Most of her hair shaved off. What looks to be either a flamer or a plasma scar covering the right side of her face, kind of melting her right eye socket a little bit in, so it looks like she's permanently squinting at you with the right eye. And she's wearing what looks to be flak armor with smoke and bloodstains on it, still reasonably fresh. As well as next to her stands a man who's also looking quite put out. The fact that he's standing by her front door at the moment. And one of them is carrying what appears to be a round cylindrical object with almost like a crystal facet built into the top of it. And as you open the door, they kind of just like push you aside and walk into the room, glancing about disparagingly at the motley collection in here. The Inquisitor has orders for you. Attend us.
Hey?
Okay.
I got
They walk over to the table and put the device down onto the desk, looking around for an outlet, connecting it up to the power. It takes a few moments and you see a flickering green holographic representation of a man in power armor wearing a very elaborate mask that looks like a carved human skull with intricate scroll work running all around it. And he looks at the room, not looking at any of you because this is a recording, and goes, "Word has reached me of disturbing activities in the hive Solitudinum. It appears the foul taint of Xeno has spread even to these remote levels. The sanctioned bondsman enforcing hive law in this wretched area report of an unnatural item found in an unusually grisly mass killing site, and I have decided to make the matter my own. You are to descend into the darkness of the galloways, investigate the situation, and take whichever steps are necessary to prevent further contamination of humanity. In the name of the Emperor, go forth, do my bidding, and carry out his will." And you see the green flicker close down and disappears. Moon looks at you. Any questions?
When do we start?
You start in 2 days.
Any
Covered
reports?
identities have been prepared for you, should you wish to use them.
Any reports on what the object was?
As I am to understand it, it seems to be a necklace or a piece of jewelry.
Do we know where that object is sitting at the moment? Is it being collected by someone in authority? Is it being sold to someone? Is it at large?
It is at the site of the killing. The area has been sealed.
Is it tastefully made, or is it more of a gaudy nature?
She looks at you, kind of raises one eyebrow before dismissing your question.
Where is the site? Is it under hive, normal hive, in a
It is
secluded area?
the gallows way.
Okay.
It's beneath the underhive.
Ah, wonderful. And who's cordoned off the area?
The sanctioned bondsman.
Okay, and where does he fit into does he run the entire hive? Is he just in charge of the gallows way?
I think they might be like the police.
They would be the local law enforcement agents.
Fantastic.
um,
Yeah, sorry, Hugo.
Oh, I was just at the mention of it being below the underhive. I placed the 2 drinks I've prepared down, and then go and just start chugging from the bottle.
Okay.
Is there anyone else currently deployed to the hive?
No, you will be the sole agents at this point in time. Inquisitor in his boundless mercy has seen fit to give you a second chance.
Anyone else got questions?
Nope.
Are we undercover? Well, the
Yeah,
choice
we
to
look-
go undercover is ours, then.
When will we receive our documentation and our cover identities and everything like that?
We can have them delivered here within the hour, should you please.
Yes, please.
Very well. Turns around, takes the projector, and walks out of the room with the man in tow, leaving you alone in the room.
Fantastic.
So, gents, anybody have anything to do in the time, or anything that you want to do for the time being?
Well, I first want to see what cover identities were given and everything like that, to see what other research we want to do.
Okay, about half an hour passes. Knock on the door. When you open it, find a crate sitting in front of your door, filled with all sorts of data slates, fake IDs, you name it. Pretty much all the accoutrements one would use to infiltrate a hive. There are
Okay.
several different options for you guys to pick from. There are a set of idents for special concern officers from the Carrion Combine. There are city sanctuaries on secondmen from Desolaeum, although that might be a little bit suspicious considering Desolaeum is a wreck at the moment. And there are also idents from a ration bar producer, there to test the purity of the ingredients used in the factories in the Underhive.
The first one, what was those again?
You'd be special concern officers for the Carrion Combine.
The Carrion Combine, I take it, is a merchant house.
Make just like a knowledge Imperium check for me. Just like a general Imperial lore check.
Yep, make that with a degree of success.
As far as you know, the Gallows Way, it goes hand in hand with the Carrion Combine. So basically, below the hive, there is a vast network of factories that receives the hive's dead. So once people die, be they up hivers or lower hivers, whatever the case might be, they get shipped to this place. The meat, bone, and organs gets repurposed, used for ration bars, organs, transplants, decoration, that kind of thing. You know, and then all the corpses, that's how they get disposed of because it's impractical to have a graveyard for a city that large. The Carrion Combine are kind of like a not really a ruling council, more like an administrative bureau that makes certain that certain health and safety standards are maintained inside these charnel houses. Although there are quite a lot of them. There's like about 200 of these charnel houses, maybe even more, below the hive, and below the hive. Although you'll probably only be dealing with a couple of them, in the area where you guys will be operating.
I think, guys, those could be very good identifications because they would give us ample reason to be walking around in the underhive, under the getaway,
What
which
if
I
we
assume
actually
is
have
not
to deal
somewhere
with the
normal people
Carrion
hang out.
Combine?
I don't know what
What's
you're
that?
talking about. I got born and raised in the Galloways. No, not really.
Is that it, bro?
To Severin, what if we have to have any dealings with the Carrion Combine?
Well, the Carrion Combine is most likely quite large, so they wouldn't know everyone on site. And I'm pretty sure the Inquisitor wouldn't have given us identifications that wouldn't be able to pass at least a normal inspection.
He also gave us some for a now destroyed hive. So he
Yes.
could just have a big old bucket of fake idents.
And I'm pretty sure the destroyed hive ident would have been fine if the hive hadn't been destroyed.
Inside the box is also 10,000 thrones.
I start scooping them into my pockets.
I gently restrain him and scoop them into my pockets so that it's not spent on Amasek and booze.
Oh, now I'm gonna take my leave and start trying to procure ammo, supplies, that kind of stuff that we may need. Because
Right.
we all got guns, and a lot of them need ammo.
Okay.
Sounds
So
good.
you're gonna go do that. Okay, Severin, you say you're okay. So idents, what are you guys gonna be picking? Carrion Combine.
Well, what does everyone else feel like doing?
I'm down
How
with
mu-
leaving the decision to Severin because I'm picking stuff up now.
Yeah, I don't really know about these things, so Severin better take that.
I think it's a
Carrion
good
Combine
idea.
it is.
What's that, Trash?
Said I think it's a good idea.
Okay, Carrion Combine it is. Alrighty. Hippo, you go out onto the ship to try and find a arms master or armory or anything of that nature. Roll a fellowship test for me, please. Since you are currently not a very popular person,
I found one,
what did you roll?
a free
And what's your normal thingy?
46.
6. Damn, you still make it. You do find a couple of intrepid navymen who are willing to sell you some stuff. They have a couple of last pack power cells available, and one of them has got a combat knife. Nothing really too crazy, and some of them also have stun batons to be used that got from some of the naval ratings.
I'll take 2 charge packs.
Okay, give you 2 charge packs for last pistol.
I don't suppose they've got any shotgun shells.
Dude, they're like random guys. They're
Oh.
not exactly like,
I don't know if they could
walking
point me
on there.
towards anyone that's got any shotgun shells.
What does this guy think? No. That'll be 50 thrones, yeah.
All right. Of the
Take
of-
a
of
combat
the
knife
first
from me,
hand-
please.
fine, I'll take a combat knife.
Okay, that'll be 60 thrones, yeah.
Right. Of the handful of thrones I scooped up before Severin stopped me, I'll take out 60 of them.
Okay. Sorted. Anything else you guys want to do in the day or two before you go?
I'd like to do more research about what the Carrion Combine actually do, and then get a better understanding about the area around where the event occurred in Gallows Way.
Okay. With access to the ship's cogitators, it's a plus 20 bonus, so make 3 rolls for me. Depending on those rolls, I will give you some stuff. What about you, Trash? Is there anything you're going to be doing in the next couple of days? Or are you just being a lazy bastard?
No, I think Dell here would be doing some research on the Underhive to get a better understanding for the underworld that's there.
Okay, roll 3 checks for me as well.
What what knowledge checks you need me to be making?
In your particular case, let me just look at your knowledge skills here quickly. Let's see. Come on, scroll. Make it okay. Trash, you will be rolling the underworld skill for me
Yes. When we have
because you're more
plus,
interested in finding, people and places,
right.
and you're doing like more like geography and business and imperial stuff, right, Matt?
Yeah, like when I get there, I want to be able to know where we're going, and I want to be able to explain while we're there that
Okay.
And we have plus.
Uh,
We have a plus 20, correct?
yes, from using the ship stuff. Matt, do bureaucracy for me, and actually just do bureaucracy because you're going through the Imperial Archives, so that's fine.
and it's three times you say.
Yes. So it's whatever your bureaucracy skill is plus 20, and trash your skill for the underworld plus 20.
I had 2 successes.
Okay. Well, how many degrees of success on a roll? Because
let's
that's
see.
important.
My underworld lore is 30.
Mm-hmm.
So here's 2 degrees success, and my previous roll of a 42 would have been, 1 degree of success.
1 degree of success. Okay, I'll do trash, and I'll do you, Matt.
Okay.
Okay, so trash. You looking through the area, you find a couple of things. Just rumors and hearsay of some of the stuff, and then some concrete info for the other. The bit of concrete info that you do find is that there is a gang active in that area where you guys are going to be working, called the Red Walk. Very much a grisly, rundown, Mad Max-esque bunch of motherfuckers. This is like the lowest of the low, like people who make a living from gouging other people, where a single grain of rice is enough food for a family kind of thing. Like this is like
Say
really
we
like
take 'em over.
vultures preying on the weak.
Right.
And you know that they're very active in that area and that they have had a lot of run-ins with local law enforcement. Local law enforcement wise, you find out that there's very little local law enforcement there. The only reason they found the murder scene is because a couple of years ago, they built what they call the Purity Gate, which is basically to stop traffic between the lower hive and the under hive. So that's how like shitty that area is. They actually want to stop people from getting to the fucking lower hive from there.
Wow.
And
So-
the lower, it's like a blockhouse that is staffed by some of the sanctuaries from the city, and that's that's literally the only police presence down there. There's nothing else. There's like no local law enforcement. There's no dial 911. This is the fucking shittiest area in the hive possible. And like I say, the Purity Gate and the Red Walk have had been at each other's throat a couple of times. Matt, as far as your information is concerned, you learn a couple of things. Give me
Okay.
the rolls.
First one was a success. Second one was a failure. The third one was 6 degrees of success.
6.
6.
Damn.
Okay, well,
That's how I
guess I get
roll.
to give you this stuff then. All right, so you've got upper hive, mid hive, low hive, Galloway, right? Galloway being way at the bottom. First thing you find out is the area is almost underwater because of rain, and not because of clouds coming together and rain. It's because of all the liquid runoff from the top of the hive dripping down there perpetually. Everything is
lovely.
oily, everything is moldy, everything is rusted and going to hell. Second thing is electricity, shot. Large part of the area is dark all the time. Lights flicker and are unreliable in areas that do have them, but you should be expecting stupid low light conditions most of the time. The house for the Carrion Guild in that area is Charnel House number 17. The drains, as they call them, is imagine a bunch of shipping containers strapped together that is built to deliver the water from the lower hive to the bottom of the lower hive. People live inside that. That's like the primary residential areas, the drains. It's not uncommon for people to be washed away by flash floods, coming from the upper hive, or for parts of the drains to just collapse, killing everybody inside them. There's a scrap market, which is basically where all the corpses that get picked apart, like little trinkets and bits of clothing that are still salvageable, get sold. There's the boneyard, which is where after the bodies have been stripped of their organs and flesh and things like that, you'll have like pieces of teeth and bones basically get dumped out. And the humans' refuge is basically built up into like a huge mounds and mountains full of bone dust and splinters that are inhabited by very odd creatures that are probably mutants. And that's it. That's what you find out from your searchings.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. So that's Dilib and Severin. And Hippo was busy procuring things. What about our resident priest and sneaky guy? What are you guys doing in the last day or so before you go down?
Nothing. I can't come up with anything, honestly.
Just more kung fu.
More kung fu, gun fu.
Have we got our stuff back?
It takes the rest of the day, nothing. And the next day, you're very nervous, quick on the front door.
I go answer that shit.
When you open it, there is a very large, dark blue duffel bag sitting on the step of your door.
I peek my head out. Do I see anybody up or down the corridor?
Nope.
I just drag it in.
Alright, you pull the big old bag inside the room. Close the door.
Guys, I think our stuff might be here.
Yay!
Nice.
I check it for bombs.
It's a good idea. I check it for bombs.
Might need some
Roll a
grenades.
tech use demolitions test. Do you even have tech use as a skill?
Yeah. I failed the roll, but yeah.
It definitely has no bombs in it.
Then I open it up.
Alrighty.
Bam.
It explodes.
Inside,
First,
you see a pile of your equipment, as well as what appears to be a piece of parchment that is smeared with what looks to be, well, you hope it's grease anyway, and other oily substances. And you can see it's got like a very scribbly, spidery scroll written on it.
I open that up and give that a read.
It's a note from Frederick. And it simply says, thanks for saving me from the planet. I'm not going to do his accent while reading the damn letter. It just says, thanks for saving me from the planet.
Griffey, the immersion.
My throat's going to kill me if I do that
It's
now.
gonna fuck up my immersion, man.
Don't make me stab you. It simply says, thank you for saving me from the planet. I'm currently in hiding since the cog boys are none too happy with me. I might have rigged up a temperature control system for the troop ship, and they didn't like me fiddling with their machines, none. Inside, please find a small favor from me as thanks for saving me from this Liam. And you guys can see that most of your equipment has had a number of alterations done to it.
Oh.
Who wants to go first for me to run the stuff down for you guys?
Del.
I will also pass out the combat knife. Give that to Anarius I picked up.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
You can stab people
Alrighty.
now.
Your las pistol, well,
Oh.
hell pistol, you can see has got a bulky cartridge attached to the side of the barrel. And it is a one-shot flamethrower that has essentially just been welded onto the side of the gun. But you feel that if you look down and you see that the grip has actually been rebalanced a little bit and weight added to it so that the gun doesn't feel off balance when you fire it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Is it reloadable?
Yeah, you can get a replacement for it. It's just you can't remote it mid-combat. It's kind of
Yeah,
you have
no,
to
that
take
makes
it
sense.
to.
Okay, that's cool.
It's like a one-shot flame blast,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Who wants to go next?
I will.
Alrighty. Hippo, your sniper rifle has had a number done on it, as far as you can tell. The stock has been drilled out, shaving it down quite a lot. Give me a second. Somebody's at the door.
The boom, baby.
Who has last weapons here?
I have a last pistol.
All right, of the two charge packs, I'll give you one,
Random people this time of day. seriously.
and Ziff, I'll give you another one as well. These are both the ones I brought.
Okay. Let's try this again. Here we go. Okay, so your stock appears to have been like sanded and drilled out, lightening the weight of the weapon considerably. And you see a fire selector has been installed so that you can load different kinds of ammunition into it.
Very nice.
When you look at the spare clips, you see that one of them has been marked with a red X on the clip itself.
Is there anything in that one?
Yeah, it's loaded with really fat, almost as thick as your thumb looking rounds. And they all have red tips, the same color as the X on the side of the mag.
What would it be to identify that kind of round? What kind of skill would it be?
What would that be? That's a good question.
I have trade armorer.
Yeah, it's fine, rail that. That'll work.
No. I
No,
have no idea.
you're not sure, but usually, like, red rounds are usually some kind of incendiary or explosive round.
Shoot those last.
Well, he's got
Or
a fire
shoot them
selector, so you can
first.
switch them. Alrighty. Lady, you didn't send your guns in, so we
Nope.
skip you. Who wants to go next?
Dell.
I think
Daryl.
Ein said his flamer in, didn't he?
I did send his flamer in. That's
A
two.
burner.
Your burner. Okay. Here we go. So, for
And my last
it's
pistol.
your last pistol, it looks much bulkier than it used to look. In fact, it appears that he has just duct taped two blast pistols together and put in a new trigger. Your last pistol gains the twin-linked rule, and if you roll
Lord.
more than 2 degrees of success on a hit, both shots hit when you fire them.
So it has twin roll.
So basically how it works is you get a plus 20 to it when you fire it, but it uses twice as much ammo. And if you roll 2 or more degrees of success, then both shots hit. So even if you only fire once, it'll still fire two shots at once.
So what should I add to the special?
Well, the twin linked rule.
It's an actual rule in the book.
Okay.
Your flamer seems to have a similar modification to the one that Severan's pistol has. It appears that he has just welded another flamer onto your flamer.
Well, you can never have enough flamers.
Flamerception.
Flamerception. Trashy, you sent your shotgun in,
Right.
Yes.
if I remember correctly.
So I have an extra. Sorry. So I have an extra shot to my flamers. Just one extra shot.
Yeah, it's basically like an extra shot that you can fire. So even if your flamer runs dry, you have like one more extra shot that you could use. Okay, Trash, you
Yes.
have a shotgun that has a fire selector installed on it.
Ooh.
And you also have a fat wad of shells that's kind of just all duct taped together, about 15 of them in total, that have a white X just splattered onto the side of them.
Can I try and figure out what those are?
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, that's 3 degrees of success.
Those are known as snare shells. So how they work is, you shoot them at the enemy. The enemy has to make an agility test, and if they fail their agility test, then they are restrained, immobilized, so they can't do any action except trying to get out of the restraints. Think of it like giant liquid concrete, basically, that you shoot at people. And they are snare 4.
Ooh, nice.
What did he get? Sorry?
Snare shells.
Oh, okay.
So you hit a target, Since yours is 4, they have to make a agility test of 40 minus 10 to try and avoid it, and if they don't, then they basically get stuck inside like liquid concrete, and they can't take any actions except to try and break out of it. Good for incapacitating people.
Not bad.
Alrighty. And I think that's everybody. Okay. So, the rest of the evening passes uneventfully. Next day dawns bright and clear. And you have barely woken when, unceremoniously, the door to your quarters is pushed open with the 2 inquisitorial acolytes that were there the day before. Saying, "Geroid's here, come on then."
All right.
Look up all my stuff.
Okay.
Make sure that also any bottles of ammo sack that are still in the room, they're going in the duffel bag.
Okay. You have a very empty duffel bag with just like 2 bottles of ammosac clanking around the
That's
bottom
fine.
of it.
Clank, clank.
Clank, clank, clank. This, the vision of decorum. You guys get led out to the launch bay of the ship, going past all sorts of aircraft that are busy refueling. You can see there's just aircraft that are rearming as well, going out on patrol. It looks like they're doing an extremely thorough job of keeping the area contained, bombing any civilian convoys that try and get away, that kind of thing. Just trying to, minimize the contagion as best they can. You're led to a very, very banged up Argus lighter, and the pilot being just a servitor that has been wired into the vehicle itself. And with a whine of rising engines, you are flown down to the hive of Solitudenum, and dropped off very unceremoniously at the spaceport at the mid-hive, leaving you blinking in the overcast grey-green smog hanging over the hive of Solitudenum.
Sounds good.
It has begun.
Amazing.
I guess we need to try and find transport down deeper into the hive.
Deeper.
Where would we want to, guys? We're probably going to need to find a place to stay. Where would we want to set up? Do we want to be? We probably don't want to stay in the Undergallows. Do we want to stay somewhere in the middle hive?
Wait, where do I identities we got? What were they again? Aren't they specifically for the Undergallows or whatever the fuck it was called?
We're quality inspectors, so we'll be able to go into there. But I mean, I assume we don't want to stay there. We need to probably set up a base so we have somewhere to sleep.
Yep, we need to set up a area to set up as a base. That's true.
Yeah, we do need a base, but I suppose it works. I was wondering, would it be weird for us to be in the lower or middle hive?
Well, Griffey, from my research on these quality inspectors, do they have a place they traditionally stay, or do they just stay, anywhere? I don't
They're
know.
normally just down for a day or two, to do the inspections. So I suppose wherever they can find cheap accommodation is usually, where they would stay.
Okay,
I don't think they have like a premises rented out
Yeah,
by
no,
the
I
guild or
don't-
anything like
okay.
that.
I'd like to check on the data slate and see if I can find anywhere in the middle hive that might be a decent accommodation that's not too expensive.
What are you looking for? Like a hotel or a house, or what are you guys looking for?
Maybe a house we can rent out, so we
I was
don't
thinking more-
really want people much.
What about just squatting in an abandoned stuff, taking it over? Then nobody knows about it but us.
I was thinking, yeah, maybe not abandoned, but something that's very very hidden. Something that not a lot of people might go to.
Lower hive?
Well,
Yeah, I was
Well-
thinking lower hive somewhere.
or if we might be able to hire a small storage area in the middle hive, or something like that. Or we can look in the lower hive. Trashy, Hibbo?
Well, we gotta. If we're actually corporate people, we would be looking for a place to stay. Shills always take care of their beds first.
I'd rather not
Yeah.
have to stay anywhere below the mid-hive.
Okay, Griffey, I'd like to see if I can find like like not a huge warehouse, but you know when you watch the movies and you see they have like a general warehousey place that the people are setting up in.
Like an empty residential business property.
Yeah, something like that. So I want to find somewhere like that in the middle hive that's relatively well priced.
Okay. Make a Adeptus Minister Administratum check for me.
Yeah, that is 3 degrees of success.
You find two possible locations that could work for you. One of them is on the road to the Purity Gate. The road itself is not incredibly well traveled, since the locals don't really let those from the gallows up, into the lower hive. And there's not a whole bunch of people going down into the lower hive from the mid hive. It's pretty much just really your Arbites and less savory elements. The other one is more centrally located in the middle of the hive, in what looks to be an area that is currently being redeveloped. It's got several new structures that are standing empty at the moment. That are, some of them are getting worked on, some of them are getting built, some of them are getting the plumbing redone. Some of them are getting, the walls knocked out or new walls built, whatever the case might be. You can have your pick of either.
Shall we? I would think maybe the one overlooking that road is quite important because at least we can keep track of any suspicious movements.
Agreed.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's out of the way. Nobody will mind if there's suddenly traps in that building.
Okay.
Certainly traps.
Yeah, we'll look at that one.
Certainly.
Okay. You guys grab some public transport, head on down to the middle hive. Doesn't take you long to find the area. It appears to be quite a larger structure, 2 floors. The bottom one, the structure itself built of a very powdery-looking red-black brick. It doesn't have anything inside it. You see, it's got no carpets, nothing like that. This is literally just the framework of a building. It's very empty. A couple of them you can see still got exposed wiring on the walls where a stove or something might have been coupled. You can see in the back the bathroom itself, the door is missing, but the toilet is still intact there. And it's empty. You can see here and there in the corner like refuse where some animal or a homeless person might have spent the evening. Overall, just empty building. Nothing really stands out about it.
Fantastic. We'll get in there.
Yeah, you guys head inside, and it's pretty much just empty building. So
Who knows
from-
how to drive around here? Reasonably.
Drive.
Yeah.
Really.
Cool.
That just gives you an idea of what the ground floor looks like. There's some steps heading up to the next floor. There's a bathroom here.
Maybe, I don't know, Hippo, do you want to scout around the area and check out the layout?
Sure.
I don't know, just in case we have to defend it.
Well, I was gonna recommend we go buy some flakboard or something like that. Block up most of the other doors. Get some locks.
Yeah, we can spend a bit
Buy,
on getting this
buy
place
something
up.
to sleep in.
Yeah.
Can we
That's
like
up
set
there.
up like I have to go to come into the area? I have to go like through a corridors. We could like and trap with grenades. So if somebody try to sneak up on us, just get blown up.
Well, I don't want to leave trip mines everywhere outside because
No, not outside. I'm just saying to get inside. The area we were talking about. We have to go through like a corridor. We could rig with explosives.
We don't need explosive. We could just set up like some kind of alarm system. Like it
Firstly,
could be something like very basic, like literally string that like makes a fucking bell ring or something. Just alarm. Like that's what I want to do. Is like basically just alarms. Pretty much anywhere I can.
Alexi, if I give you 500 thrones, will you sort out getting this place, on a slightly livable level?
can do.
Some rations, some bedding, some flakboard if you want to close up the windows and stuff.
Hey, Dal, you want to come with me?
Yeah, let's go.
Right, we're off to go to the hardware store.
Okay. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Is it possible, Griffey, for me to? I essentially want to file some papers that make it look like I'm allowed to requisition a car without having to pay for it. In the hopes that the requisition order will take like 2 years to get processed, and by the time we're gone, they'll realize, oh wait,
Yeah, I can see that working. Make a administratum roll for me, but with a -10 penalty because you're filling in the paperwork incorrect. Well, you're filling the paperwork incorrectly, but
I have
under
the
false
car, Griffey.
credentials. Yes. You put in an order for a ground vehicle, and doesn't take long before your slate beeps to let you know that unit has been brought out in the carpool and is ready for you to collect.
Okay, I'm gonna print out the thing and I'm gonna be like, Zifridus?
Ziff, just Ziff.
Ziff, I've got a car organized for us. Do you want to go pick it up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Ziff heads into the middle hive to go pick up a vehicle. The other two are getting materials for your home. And what is the priest doing?
I'm tidying up this thing.
Okay. You kind of like just take the rubbish in the corners and just kind of like make a little pile of it. Since there's not really much to work with at the moment.
Just chuck it all out the window.
Okay. Okay, Ziff, you head into town to pick up the vehicle. Now I have to actually fucking find the goddamn ground vehicle. And you two are heading into what? Just like the marketplace, just gonna go buy up some random bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you guys looking for? I'm assuming food, rations, blah blah blah. What else are you guys looking for?
So yeah, we're gonna need all of that. We're gonna need bedding, and any kind of just like flakboard type stuff that we can use to block up doors and windows.
Some construction materials.
And
Alright, I
some,
would like you and
locks as well.
okay, I would like you and Del to both roll fellowship tests for me.
I'm not a
Del,
people
I would
person.
like-
For you to roll an intimidation check for me.
Okay.
Wow, that's really good,
No.
Alexi.
I'm gonna use a fate point to re-roll that.
Alright, so that. My fellowship is not good.
Alright, so what did you roll?
I rolled a 60 and it's a 30.
Damn.
Intimidation.
Do that intimidation thing.
Ah.
Holy shit. Okay, you
guys
guys
find
find
everything
everything
you're
you're looking for. You find your construction materials, you find your food, you find some basic toiletries and stuff to make the area livable. You even sneak in some booze, Alexi. But you have to spend every last cent to do it. And for some reason, the locals really don't like you guys. It's something you're saying or something in your mannerism, but every single person you speak to is just the most unhelpful that you have, ever come across. They're just giving you endless problems.
Because I'm recoiling in horror whenever they speak, isn't it?
It might be
Okay, so that's all 500 thrown.
all 500 gone. Goodbye, sweet prince.
Then yeah, when we get back, I'm gonna.
It's about fortifying.
Are there any like doors big enough for the car to fit through?
There's no big enough doors for the vehicle to fit inside, but you could probably pull it around the back of the property.
Alright.
Nobody will probably notice it there. All right, Ziff. You head on over to the Adeptus Administratum properties, the monolithic building of imperial paperwork, and you are directed by a menial drone to the carpool where you show your paperwork, gets stamped in triplicate, and then stamped in triplicate again, and you are given the keys to a ground car. Not a particularly fancy ground car or a particularly fast ground car, but looks to be pretty solid model by your estimation. 4-seater, lots of miles on the clock, full tank of Promethium. You should be good to go.
Nice. It's not as good as the old car, is it?
No, fortunately not. All right, and you
Sadness.
get back home.
Oh well.
Well, the rest of you guys fortify your premises, I take it.
Yep.
Boarded up
Yep.
windows, all but one door.
All right.
Are we
Lock
sure we
on
don't
that
want
door.
all but 2 doors? One, as
Always have an escape hatch.
exit.
I like the way you
Upstairs,
think
are
so.
there any like fire escapes upstairs?
Yeah, there's a fire escape, although you don't know if you trust your weight to it. It looks to be corroded, rusted, and falling to pieces.
Set up a zip line to the next building. We can
not a
use
bad
in
idea.
case of escape.
I think I have a. Yeah, I've got a
I'm gonna
grapnel in line.
I'm
I'll
gonna
keep
assume
that
you
near the
guys
window.
actually have rope.
No, I've got
Okay.
a grapnel in line in my inventory.
Okay. So it takes you guys a better part of a day, but you managed to make the area livable, if not, not luxury, but at least you'll be able to keep clean, perform your ablutions, and get a good night's rest. As long as you're not too, overt with your comings and goings, nobody should know anything. All right. Severin, while the rest of them are hard at work, busy fortifying the area, your slate beeps. And
Okay.
you see that there's a message sent to the Carrion Guild from the local constabulary. And it simply says that your request for an appointment has been granted tomorrow morning, 11 sharp. And
Fantastic.
and it just says the Purity Gate.
I send a
the
confirmative,
Hellas.
and I'll say we'll be there in the morning.
All right. Anything else you gentlemen want to do? Can we time skip to the morning?
I suppose we probably should set up some kind of watch, lest we get attacked by bears or giant spiders.
Indeed.
Um,
I'll take first watch.
Yeah, me too.
Well, before we go on to watch, I was thinking, should I sneak around and see if there's anybody else squatting in the current area? It's like figure out what the buildings are, the general layout of the
Yeah,
area.
walk around the block. Why not? It's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Do it.
Sure, make
sneaky.
a scrutiny test for me and a sneaky test, lady.
Damn.
Damn.
Actually succeeds, and stealth obviously succeeds.
What the fuck? I don't even. Okay, you do a routine sweep of the area. You find a couple of homeless people that you put the fear of the Emperor into, convincing them to go find another place to sleep. And for the rest of it, it just seems you find a couple of dogs, wandering the streets, emaciated looking, and street animals. Other than that, the area appears to be mostly uninhabited.
Okay, nice.
You occasionally see a small group of people come trudging past the road down to the gate to the lower hive. Often sporting gang tattoos and greasy, weathered clothing, but nobody looks particularly interested in you.
Good to know.
Okay. Rest of the evening passes. You guys make your dinner. I'm assuming Hippo is going to be an alcoholic as per usual.
Always.
And the next morning dawns bright and early. As you leave. Yeah.
Do our identifications have different names on them?
They do have a number of different names on them. Gentlemen, pick your false names.
I will be Octavius Barbosa.
I will be Wilfred Dredd.
What about you, Ein?
what? Sorry?
What's your false name?
Ida is like, this is too complicated. Secret identities.
It is.
What about you, Ziff?
Shit, I have no idea. I wonder if there's a random name generator.
There's a whole list of names in the core rulebook.
Shit, you're right. There is somewhere.
It's at the character creation section if you need help. Okay, I'm assuming you guys are going to pick names. I'm just going to carry on for now. What about you?
Carry on.
Hippo?
I'm just waiting for this fucking thing to load.
sometimes it fucking loads slow as shit, even though I've been on that page before.
Okay, so you guys pick your names and head on down into the Underhive.
Yes, so we've got a meeting, guys, with the head bondsman at 11:30 at the Purity Gate.
Okay.
The message was labeled Oath Captain Nils.
Nils, okay.
Nils. Alrighty.
Sounds
You-
good. I'm ready to go when everyone else is.
Everybody good?
Yep.
Alrighty. You guys head on down to the hive lift platform that's going to take you down into the lower hive and down into the gallows. Clutching your forged identities and your false oath cogs that you guys got from your disguises, you watch as decaying level after decaying level slides by, each one getting subtly worse than the one before it. And as the rusting hive lift platform shudders to a halt, and the huge metal doors are corroded with age, grime, and filth painfully slide open, they reveal your stop, the gallows way. It is dark, lit only by the flickers of failing lighting. You're immediately assailed by an odor that is a mixture of rot, mold, death, and human feces. The floor in front of you has got shallow pools of stagnant liquid that you hope to the Emperor is water. The walls themselves are cracked and have black moss growing on them that seems unhealthy, and that shimmers with an oily sheen in the pale light.
I wonder what happens if I burn them.
Looks a bit
Please
damp.
be
The
careful.
ceiling-
We don't want to set the entire place on fire.
That was,
ceiling is
that's
low.
what I was thinking.
You have to walk a little bit hunched over, as the ceiling is not very high. It's almost like it wasn't intended for human habitation, or whoever designed it didn't care about human habitation. And as you guys arrive, your data slate blinks on with a little indicator of the direction you need to head.
Fantastic.
Before you stands, a little bit further down in the murky darkness, you can see what appear to be walls built up to the ceiling, flush with the ceiling, so that people can't climb over them, as well as what appears to be a gatehouse of some sort. So, what do you gentlemen do?
Well, I assume there's a front desk.
Kind of. Not so much a front desk as a processing cavern that you walk through. Tiny little window set into the wall with bars set in front of it. And you can see behind it the whip-thin form of a woman glaring suspiciously at you.
I walk up to her
Yeah.
while taking out my documentation. Greetings. I'm Quality Control Clerk Octavius. I'm here to see Oath Captain Nils.
She
I
takes
have
the
an
paperwork from you.
appointment.
Doesn't say a word. Starts looking through it. Spits a little bit to her side. Hands it back to you. Alright. You're clear to enter. Charnel House 17's your destination. I suggest you make it quick. The scum down here won't care for your kind.
They never do.
You're a deep, booming, grinding sound as the gates to the exterior of the Hallows slowly slide open, leaving a trail of filth on the ground and muck that is disturbed by the doors.
Okay, I assume we have a map to get to Connell House 17?
On your data slate.
Fantastic. Let's go.
Okay. As you guys step out of the Purity Gate into the gallows proper, you can see it's very heavily populated, but the people here are almost subhuman, dressed in filthy rags, most of them in some state of being damp or wet due to the persistent drizzle coming from above. You guys are pretty much instantly drenched as you walk out by this, continuous just downpour of liquid coming from the top hive. And you can hear mutters and see people pointing at you and just kind of like radiating out from you the zone of just being shunned. People are just avoiding you and staying as far away from you as possible,
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
muttering to themselves and just trying to avoid you as much as possible. You see a few of them, bloodshot, yellowing eyes, stare hungrily at the Purity Gate before it slams shut behind you, leaving you standing in the street.
I will stare down anybody who's paying too much attention.
You see a couple of younger-looking dregs eye you, lock eyes with you, and then just kind of look down quickly before hurrying away.
I don't even pay them any heed.
I'm keeping one hand in my pocket, holding my last pistol, and the other one holding the handle of my power sword. I've left my sniper rifle at home.
I'm just going to act like a true quality control clerk and pretend that these people are not even worthy of notice. Head off to Cardinal House 17.
Okay. You guys walk the streets. Takes you a good 3/4 of an hour to get there. Your travel in this area does not improve your opinion of it at all. It is just the most horrid, appalling conditions, and you can't even understand how people can live here, like how they successfully survive here. Why nobody hasn't been wiped out yet.
Feels just like home.
You come to the warehouse district, and I use the word very loosely, and walk into the faded, ramshackle building that your data slate indicates is Charnel House 17. Inside, you see 3 figures, armored and very much clean and at odds with this area, all wearing what appear to be like plastic rain ponchos to keep the persistent dripping wet off them. You see 2 men, all carrying stun batons and with combat shotguns slung over their shoulders. And you see Severin, who you assume to be Captain Nils of the local sanctuaries, the commander of the Purity Gate. Very well-groomed, militaristic-looking woman with a hard stare and the cold demeanor of an enforcer who's seen her share of the worst that this hive has to offer. You see all of them almost kind of reach for their guns as you walk into the warehouse before relaxing just a half fraction when they see that you're not natives. The
Greetings.
scene inside itself is just utter carnage. The walls are spattered with blood. Now bear in mind, this warehouse is a good couple of 100 feet across, and the walls are spattered with blood and viscera. The ground is littered with tangled limbs of mutilated bodies, the aftermath of a terrible and brutal melee. In the center of the carnage, a single body stands out. On top of the pile, of broken limbs, facing upward, this body has a pendant visible around its neck. And you can see that the men and women at the scene are visibly unsettled. And you can see them whispering, or hear them whispering about unnatural powers at work, causing the dead to attack the living, even as they glance suspiciously in your direction as you come inside.
I very quickly cover Anarius' eyes.
No,
Darius!
I don't want to hear that.
So about that character trait of yours with the dead bodies.
Yes, after all.
Damn right, you after all. You've managed to avoid it for the most part so far.
Okay. This one. And this one.
And yeah,
What was that
This
total?
is 52.
And that's against the willpower, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but
Right.
is this an enemy of the Emperor?
No, they're just dead bodies. You guys see Onirius stumble inside, take a look at the carnage, and then immediately just turn around and bolt, running
Nope.
out of the...
Nope. Nope. Nope.
I
No.
just, I rub the bridge of my nose. I'm like, will someone please go and fetch him?
No.
Okay. I run him down.
Okay, Ziff tackles you outside and proceeds to try and carry you inside.
No. Not again.
The Captain Nils is kind of just staring at you guys like, the fuck are these people?
He's a little squeamish.
I walk up to Captain Nils. Greetings. I'm Quality Control Clerk Octavius.
Paperwork,
I hand him my paperwork.
scans through it, checks it one by one. You can tell this one's a stickler for protocol and order. Looks to be an order. So I ask for somebody to assist me in the situation, and they send me a paper pusher. No offense intended. Tell me, what exactly are we dealing with here?
Well, why don't you tell me what happened here?
My guess is Red Walk, Turf War, killed and displayed as a warning to the rest. Although, don't know
So,
which gang.
so everyone within the abattoir was killed.
They certainly look dead to me.
And how did you find out about this? Did someone call in? Was this just stumbled upon?
Two of my men, you can see she glances backwards distrustfully at the other two sanctuaries, came upon it as part of a routine patrol.
So they routinely check inside all of the abattoirs in the vicinity.
It does seem to be a little bit unusual, yes.
Yes, as the abattoirs are run by the
Carrying combine.
as the abattoirs are run by the combine, I would not think they need to check them very often. But still, it's good that someone find out. When was the last time they checked this abattoir? Do you know?
As I understand it, we don't make a routine check of all the buildings in the area. We simply do not have enough people to cover every area sufficiently. So they tend to follow their paths erratically, going wherever their instincts take them.
Okay. And everything is as it was when they found it.
We made sure to cordon off the area immediately. As you can see, the valuables are still on the deceased.
Have you discussed around to find out if anything unusual happened?
So you cut out there, what was that? I guess we'll never know.
Well, whilst he's dead, I'm just gonna start going and looking at all of the bits of corpuscles.
Okay, there are a number of tests that you guys can make if you want to scan the area. What skills would you guys all like to bring to the table? This could be anything from Medica, Inquiry, Sinus... Okay, well, none of you are psychics, but I mean, you know, things like that. There's a whole bunch of different skills that you can use now to survey this area looking for different things.
I want to look. What would be best to try and see what kind of weaponry caused all of this shit?
For you, it's probably just going to be a general awareness test.
Okay.
I would like to use the Auspex to see if I can find any like apparent life signatures that don't make sense. Like we know obviously we are here and the other people are here, but any life signatures in this area that like are extra.
Okay. What about you guys, Del and Mr. Ein?
I'm looking at my skills here,
Mhm.
and it's more for dealing with people than actual investigation.
That's
Go
true.
and intimidate them. Corpses.
I'm gonna go intimidate some Gorsford. Actually, I can use.
By the neck. Tell me who killed you.
I can handle it. Actually, I can use scrutiny and awareness.
Okay. What about you, Ein? What do you want to bring to the table? Are you going to bring any religious angle to the search?
I could do that. I could do the religious angle, but I also have scrutiny 40.
That's fine. I mean, you guys can choose which skills you want to use. The reason why I'm mentioning different skills is because, scrutiny will tell you, for example, this guy got stabbed real good. Where, for example, let's say you use the religious angle and you roll well, it could be something like, oh, you've heard of a sect, belonging to the emperor that has this kind of, tattoo or markings maybe, or you've heard of this cult, perhaps if you have like forbidden lore that kills in a certain way, or this kind of weapon was used if you use like more armory related things. That's why I was asking, because I don't want you guys to all just roll scrutiny, for example. Like apply a broad set of knowledge to it, and you guys might be able to get more information from a crime scene kind of thing.
Yeah. So I'm looking very specifically for what kind of weapons is this, so we know what kind of technology level we're dealing with. And also,
Okay.
I rolled a one degree of success.
All right. Okay, you finished rolling. What about you, Ein? What are you going to be rolling?
I'm gonna be using awareness and forbidden lore heresy maybe, and the maybe adeptus ministrum.
Okay, roll those two for me. What about you, Del?
I'm gonna use scrutiny to determine the weapons. See if I can find out how many combatants were here.
I rolled 32 on
I'll get to you in a sec. Hold on, Ein.
awareness, right?
As well
And
as.
What are you going to be using?
Go ahead.
I was using awareness with the Auspex to find any extra life signatures other than, the people who are currently here.
Okay, so Ein is covering the religious angle or the culty angle. Trash is doing the weapons types and number of combatants killed.
Yes.
Hippo, you're doing. What are you doing?
I was also doing what kind of weapons.
What kind of weapons? And Lady, you're doing Auspex, right?
Yes.
And general tomfoolery.
General scanning around being.
Has anybody got something like Medica or anything like that?
Yeah, I've fairly decent Medicaid. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me roll that. No, I didn't do it well.
I got
Alright.
2 successes.
Choose 2 degrees success on your roll.
Oh no, 2 successes.
1. Okay, 1. Okay, and you, Trash, what did you get?
Let's. Just missed.
Which one is that?
Because some of them are
That's a
bonuses.
Scrutiny, and this is awareness.
Awareness is at plus 20 because it's a routine check. You're not under stress or anything.
Oh shit! If that's so, then I got 3 degrees of success for my awareness.
I got 2 degrees for mine.
Then I have 2 degrees for the. Because that's a 40, so that would be a 60, so that would be, well.
Okay.
And also remember, you guys can also like inquire with the sanctuary stuff as well if you want to try and interrogate them.
And then
If any of you guys have like inquiry and stuff like that.
the scrutiny would have been it was 55. My skill is 50, would have been 70. So I think that's.
Okay, so it's 1 degree of success.
Yeah.
All right. So, going through the scene carefully, picking at the corpses, pulling some of them apart, looking at, how congealed the blood is, state of decay in the corpses, that kind of thing.
I'm trying my hardest not to freak out.
You have to periodically just like kind of like stop, swallow a lot, look at the air, kind of like wave yourself to like, cool down a hot ear.
Think about the Emperor, bro.
Think about the Emperor, but you're having a really hard time in here. Okay, so you notice something first, Hippo. Only some of the bodies here are wearing oath cogs. And the first thing you notice is that they're the same oath cogs as the ones you guys are wearing from the Carrion Guild, from the Carrion. Trash, you notice that the man on top of the pile of the bodies is not wearing an oath cog. But he seems to be dressed in a manner much more. He's dressed in much higher quality clothing than the other bodies in this pile. Hippo, you notice that the pendant around the corpse's neck is very unnatural. Like when you touch it, it's ice cold, and it feels almost as if it's covered in thousands of tiny needles when you touch it. And when you look closer at it, you see that it's not a pendant at all. It appears to be a shard from something larger that somebody's just looped some twine around and is wearing around his neck. Very much at odd with his fine clothing that he's wearing. Ein, you. Sorry, I was thinking here. You are trying very hard not to look at the bodies. But you do notice one thing. Most of these bodies seem to have been dead way longer than those wearing the oath cogs. And couldn't have fought in this attack.
There's something strange about some of these bodies. It's like them. they're all
Letty,
there.
Yes.
using the Auspex.
Yep.
You pick up some very odd returns from the amulet around that guy's neck. And you also find what appears to be a damaged oath cog. That seems to have either been flung from the melee or ripped loose and is rolled to the corner. Ah.
Damn it.
Okay, can I
So those of
investigate?
you who have got some info, give that to Severin.
Okay. So half of the bodies have oath cogs from the carrying combine. The other half of the dead don't, and the bodies look much older.
Also looks like this guy isn't from around here.
Guy on top of body or pile of bodies has pendant that looks to be a shard of something. He's also fancily dressed.
No oath cog on that dude as well.
No oath cog, but Ziff did find a oath cog unattached to anybody that appears to have been flung off during the fight.
Okay.
Can I investigate the oath cog closer?
Make a tech use test for me.
Oh, shit. Then I give it to Alexei. Give it a fucking try.
Well, I was
I'll
about to pick up
investigate
this.
the necklace after that.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
touching that pendant.
As you touch the necklace, it is ice cold to the touch. And it feels almost as if it feels prickly, like it's covered in thousands of tiny needles.
Well, I wasn't planning to touch it immediately.
Okay.
I'd like to inspect it. Really close, but not actually touching.
All right.
Oh, it was also giving off bizarre readings on the Auspex.
Like little echoes, like little pings of a sonar almost.
So okay, so Liddy, you're inspecting the cog.
No, I'm not inspecting the cog because like I don't have tech use.
Yeah, I am, and I failed.
Can I try the cog and the necklace, Scrivy?
Sure, what do you want to do?
Well, I'll inspect the oath cog to see if it's unusual. Is that tech use?
It's going to be tech use. The oath cog is kind of like an electronic passport / ID that also has like the personal information for people stored inside of it. And each resident of the hive normally has one, of the mid and upper hive.
I have it with a degree of success.
It's a little bit dinged, and you can see there's a nasty crack running through it, and it takes you a bit of fiddling with it. But it doesn't take long before you can get it to display the information inside of it. And this oath cog belonged to where's this guy's name? One Darnus Fane.
Okay. Any other information?
That's how you spell it. He's a member of the Carrion Guild.
Okay.
Let's see what else is here about him. He has 2 surviving relatives, both brothers. And let's see what else is there. You'd probably have to like go back to some place to actually do some research or ask people some more questions to get more info. It's just basically got his basic information on there.
Okay, no, that's no worries. And then I'd like to inspect the necklace. What would be the best thing to use for that?
Well, you could try whichever knowledge skill you think's applicable.
Well, initially I'm going to use let's try Xeno.
All right, go for it. You'll have a +10 bonus for this one.
Oh, then I make it with a degree of success.
The reason why you have the bonus is this looks suspiciously similar in construction to the artifact that you guys found during the investigation of Desoleum.
These things are all over the place.
Wait, which artifact's that? The orb?
Well, it's a similar style of construction, although this one is not an orb, and it does appear to be part of a larger piece.
So do we find out anything else? Or is that it?
That's it. You
Well,
probably need a psyker or somebody more well versed in xenotechnology to give you some more info.
I know Xenotech, but I'm going to take a piece of cloth and wrap it up in the cloth, making sure I don't touch it, and then stow it away.
Okay. Or is that Sif?
But since what is his name? Onurius noted that the corpses seem to be older than the other ones. Do the corpses that are older, do they look like they have the proper like decay? Especially knowing that this place is extra damp and oily.
What do you want to do? Like poke it one, or what do you want to do?
I mean, I suppose I could poke it. I mean, I have gloves, don't I?
Hey, but let's get
Suppose
ready.
so.
I'm gonna be ready, pointing my flamer at that file. If it's gonna move, it's gonna burn.
You're gonna burn me at the same time.
No.
It's a small price. Onirius doesn't mind paying it.
Okay, so what do you want to do, Lady? Do you want to like cut one open and check it out inside, or do you just want
Well-
to check the skin for like mottling, or what are you trying to do?
I mean, at first I want to just like do an outward inspection, like maybe like turning one over or something like that. Just seeing like outward signs of decay.
Okay, make a medica test for me.
Well, I'm gonna try, but I am going to horribly fail at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah. Fortunately, you're not a coroner, so as far as like you normally just put the bodies dead. You don't really stay around afterwards to like observe their state of decay after you killed them. You don't really see much, that shines. Yeah, nothing catches your eye really.
Yeah, it's very. But we wouldn't expect old bodies to be in this because the thought would be that they would have to keep on processing them at quite a pace to keep up with an entire rate high mortality rate.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense to have dead bodies. These would be in the charnel supply by now.
So I want to have a look at all of the bodies, looking at what weapons they have, if any. I want to see if the Combine people were armed, and also if the seemingly ancient dead bodies are also armed.
You don't see any weapons
On no one at all.
on no one at all.
Can I look at the bodies like
It looks
under
like
their nails?
the violence was done barehanded. You see bits of skin and blood and flesh crusted under some of the nails of the older bodies, Lady.
Okay, so it does look like they clawed at people.
Is there also blood under the nails and stuff of the Combine people, or did they look like
There's-
they were just defenseless?
One or two of them you see skinned knuckles, and signs on their forearms and so on of defensive wounds. But these are clerks, they're not really trained fighters.
So
so
are
if
we
you're,
seeing here?
You're getting what I'm getting. These people were kind of just wrecked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it almost sounds like zombies that then lost power.
We're talking.
If you could
Same
say
sort of thing.
Do these look anything like the deceased citizens of Deathaleum that we plowed through?
Nope.
No. Okay.
I'm going to suggest, guys, that we have the bondsman keep the corpse of this unusual guy who was wearing the necklace, and one of the old corpses for later inspection. But everything else we should probably have incinerated just in case.
Great. We should make
So
another
not like
sweep.
not put aside for processing later, like just completely done.
Seems like a sensible thing to do. We should.
Both Captain Nils standing behind you guys, listening to you. So what, you're saying a bunch of undead creatures wandered up here, massacred a bunch of scribes, and then decided to have a nap? Is that what you're saying?
What we're saying is something's going on a lot bigger than a gang fight.
You seem awfully knowledgeable for...
Hey, we've just come from a
That-
place where
No, that Inspector Nils is because we're specialists.
You're saying this
We've-
kind of thing happens all the time?
We're
That's
saying
some-
that this
there
kind of thing,
happened to
while
be
not
a
often,
thing.
happens enough that there are certain people who are trained to help prevent it in the future.
It's
Can't say it
it's the
makes me feel any
worms
better.
that get into their brains. It takes over the dead body.
She kind of like looks at you horrified.
It's called
Why
mad
do you
human
think-
disease.
Inspector Niles, we eradicate these and process them normally as soon as possible. Why do you think we've set up this entire system of corpse processing, if not to prevent things like this?
Does make sense. Yeah, I thought there was something not right with you folk. Handling the dead like that, but that makes sense.
It's a gruesome job, but someone's got to do it.
So we are going to need to get all of these bodies, bar 2, eradicated, just to be on the safe side. So we don't want them sent to any other carnal houses. We want them. Have you got an incineration facility down here?
I can have some men with flamers in here. Will that do?
Yep, that should do. Try not to burn down the entire building, though. We need to get this carnal house back up and running as soon as possible. But
We'll
if all
stack
the
them outside.
if they can be stacked outside and burnt, no scavengers or anything like that. Have everything just incinerated.
And make sure your men are wearing protective gear.
Like gas masks or...
Gloves, gas masks. Just try to avoid skin-to-skin contact.
She kind of looks at you aghast, especially at Letty having being poured at the bodies.
Don't
I
worry,
have
he's
gloves?
built up an immunity.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
pretty certain I have gloves.
We'll also need to talk to any of the people around here who regularly bring in the corpses to this carnal house. There must be truck delivery men of some kind who drop off and pick up the corpses and then the byproducts.
To be honest with you, most of them come down the hive lifts directly to the factories. I could take you around the back and show you the shaft.
Who operates the hive lifts then?
Well, that would be carrion houses. That would be number 17 for this one.
Okay, well, we'll have to go and speak to them to find out how long this factory has actually been offline.
Well, there's a number you can speak to. There's, as I understand it, is quite a competitive business. I'm sure some of them will be willing to open up to you and get business running smoothly again in this part.
Fantastic. We're probably going to have to come up and down here for quite a while, a couple of days at least, while we get this carnal house back up and running and continue with our investigation. Is there any additional paperwork we need to fill out to ensure that we have access to this area going forward?
I'll let my I'll let the men know that they should let you through without giving you any hassles.
Fantastic. Out of character. Just guys, anything else we want to ask?
Probably gonna need to interrogate the two that found.
Oh yes, yeah, that's a given.
Also, we need to know if anybody else has come in contact with the scene.
That's just the three of us at the moment.
Do you have cameras to support that?
Cameras here? You cray.
Yeah, there's nothing like that down here. She kind of like looks stupid, funnily.
Then how do you know it's only been you three?
Because
That's
I left one officer at the scene to come fetch me, and we've had somebody here on duty every day, keeping out anybody else.
and that, Wilfred, is why we need to do some more investigating as well.
Agreed.
All right then. Well, let's get at them, man.
If you will, I give him my an address you can send me data messages to. If you will let us know where you've sent the two bodies for later investigation, that would be appreciated.
All right, keep me appraised of anything that you find. I still have to try and
Will
explain
do.
this to my superiors. All right then, so let's get to it.
Fantastic. I want to head
Easy.
off. I don't know if you guys want to do anything in here still.
We'll need written statements from your two men that
Well,
found
we should probably sit down with those guys at some point.
We can organize a debriefing if it suits you. You can come down to the station and get it done in a somewhat more civilized manner.
That sounds good. Shall
We
we
should-
say tomorrow?
All right.
We should
Sure,
take
that they're
some.
off.
Duty.
We should take some video of the area. Map
I'll
out the
stop.
location.
Yeah, snapping up pictures with my my pic recorder.
Alrighty. You guys take your time, take the measure of the place, taking photos, taking video, taking some up close shots and so on of all the different bodies and gruesomely torn apart corpses. And after a couple of hours, you guys are finished cataloging everything in the area. Alrighty.
If we're going to interrogate those two guys, I don't know if anyone wants to go around and ask anyone in the area if they saw anything. You know, maybe if why random
Anarius is a man of the
PDs
people.
are just allowed to go or just wandering through, you know, warehouses and stuff like that.
Everyone loves a priestly man. Maybe an area should go and ask. Whilst I'm still just taking pictures of corpsicles. Neat.
Neat.
Meaty.
I think Anarius is dead. Oh no,
think
his
so.
mic's turned
Rip.
off. Fine, your mic's turned off.
Or
No,
muted.
now I'm back.
There
God
we go.
damn it.
Yes.
Well,
I
I
can go.
can do that. I don't want to be near the corpses. They scare me.
I was like, hey Anarius, look at this one.
No, please. I don't want to look at that one.
Entrails are spread for like at least 8 feet.
You know they tried to choke you with that.
Yeah, this guy had his face ripped off, and it looks like his ears were eaten.
Guys, Jesus, what the fuck?
I'm going out.
Alright. Around you,
Jesus, what happened?
you can see the ooze of humanity. You know, for a moment as you step outside, the entire street is plunged into utter darkness. For a good 2-3 seconds, and you can just hear the drip of water and splashes of people moving about before the lights come back on again. A fetid green-grey vapor oozing along the ground, curling around your ankles.
Ugh. Why is how can anyone process anything down here with electricity being so poor, the power supply?
Okay, so you look to your left, your right, you see Charnel House 18, Charnel House 16, and down the street, all the way down, there are quite a few different of these charnel houses. All of them filled with the machinery to strip a human body down to flesh, organs, and bone, to be made useful for its fellow man once again.
Just out of sorry, on a
The
side note, are all these
circle of
do all
life.
these channel houses run independently?
They're all ostensibly part of the Carrion guild, or whatever you want to call it. But each one is run by not exactly a family, but by by businessmen, right? By rich businessmen. So you've got, for example, like the Channel House run by the Kith, or you've got like the Jis, or you've got like the Vlador, or like there are businessmen of renown who own these charnel houses usually,
Okay.
that make a profit from death.
Well, while all the other guys are doing their things, I'd like to do some investigation on exactly who runs and owns Channel House 17.
Ooh, okay. Okay, yep. So you've got the Oath Cog, and obviously you've got your administrating connection. So make a. What would this be? What kind of check would this be? That damn Dark Heresy and its millions of knowledge skills. Make a logic test for me. Since this is going to be information that's not necessarily publicly available, but it
Okay.
is inside the labyrinthian archives of the administratum.
Any modifiers?
I'd say plus 20 because you have the Oath Cog with the guy's personal information, and you've got credentials from the, from the guild.
Cool. That's 3 degrees of success.
Huh. Well, that was quick. All right. The owners of the Trundle House 17 is House Fane. Current leader of the house is called. What's this guy's name? Because all the fucking people have got like the same goddamn sounding names in this house.
Peter Fay.
Peter. Let's have a look here quickly. Sorry, just give me a sec. I have it written down. I just need to find the actual specific guy's name. Here we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. So what is this guy's name? God damn it. Sorry, give me a sec.
No worries.
I have like a million of these things. Here we go. Oh my god, seriously?
Have you decided to stop being scrub?
I made too many notes.
Oh no, I prepared too well. Curses!
I know, it's like, oh my god, I have like 34 pages and I'm looking for this fucking guy's name and I'm like...
File.
It's like,
Peter
I found
File.
like everything except for the guy I'm looking for. Tormus. Thank you. Fucking hell, that was a lot harder than it needed to be. Tormus Fane is currently the owner of Charnel House 17, which is connected to the Mortorius 17, also
Okay.
known as Fane Mortorius.
Well then, I won't do it right now, but when we get back for the evening, I'll do some more digging on House Fane itself.
Okay. So, I think we should end here for the session.
Sounds
We've
good.
got a fairly solid foundation.
Yes.
And then you guys must let me know what you fuckers want to do for next week.
Oh, this is good.
And then we can go from there.
I can definitely tell the difference of our experience. We're getting much better at this.
Yeah, you guys are doing all sorts of stuff. You have false identities, you have a base of operation, you have some info to get started with, and you have a mystery.
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 Yeah, yeah.
So, what do you guys think about the setting for this
I
vibe?
like it. I like it a lot.
Pretty interesting.
It's a little bit
It's very
grimmer, even I didn't think
flammable.
that was
I like it.
it's a little bit grimmer than the other hive was. Which I didn't think was possible, but apparently so.
To be fair, in the other place we were just in the underhive. Now we're literally, I don't know, even under the underhive. Oh,
Must
fucking hell.
Even the Underhive has standards.
We're on the Beyond
Yeah.
Hive.
So, thoughts and ideas? What do you guys like? What don't you like?
I think the actual role playing is better, like a lot better.
Yeah, you guys are doing pretty solidly.
I like the fact that we were asking questions and not just shooting.
Oh,
But I
oh,
like the
best
shooting
change
thing.
that.
And quickly to the shooting mobile
Quick, kill all these police people that are helping us.
Right.
for no reason. All right. Other than that, anything, Hippo, from your end?
It is nice to be playing Dark Heresy again. I greatly enjoy Dark Heresy. It is the best.
Well,
It's
you're
pretty
not
fun.
biased at all. What about you, Mr. Matt?
I enjoy. We got everything set up. We're doing some role playing. You know, it's always nice.
As far as the crime scene and things go, do you guys think I've got enough info in there for you guys, or do I need to put some more stuff in?
I think that was a decent amount.
It seems good for now. Yeah, we just got to investigate leads.
Yep.
Dudes. What about you, Ian?
Well, it's all really interesting, but you're scaring me with all those dead bodies.
What about your... What about you, lady? Anything on your end you want to change or do?
I think it's fine. I just need to get my stabby on at some point.
Oh, don't worry. There's plenty of opportunities to stab things depending on how you guys go to work. You guys actually covered a lot of ground today. Holy shit! I just realized.
Does that mean all the XP?
Hmm.
Let me think on the XP, because I'm not sure how much XP to award you guys for today, to be quite honest with you. You covered a little bit more than I thought you would.
Okay.
I will let you know probably soon and let you guys know what's happening. Because I want to give you XP, but I don't also, like, on the other end, I want to give you, like, a whole bunch. Because you're kind of, like, in the awkward middle point now, because I didn't think you guys would get this far. Because normally you waffle around a lot more.
Hey,
Hey,
we've had like months of improvement before this.
Yes.
We've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
preparing, we've been training.
We're the best around.
That's what I'm saying. So I just want to check how much XP I'm going to give you guys, because it's going to have to be kind of like halfway between what I had worked out.
1 million XP.
Hello, sir. I'd like 1 million of your finest XPs, please.
One question. So my sniper rifle is now lighter. By how much?
Yes. It's about a third of its previous weight.
Okay, so it weighs 5 at the minute. So
Yep, it's like super cut down and lightweight.
like down to like 3.
It's like 2.5. 2 1/3. Say 2.5 is fine.
I wish you had given your sniper rifle in and he came back with a sawed-off barrel and it was just a shotgun.
I'd have
Here's your
broken
sniper
down.
rifle.
My sniper rifle.
Have you
No,
have
no,
you
it's better at
named
close
your
range.
sniper rifle?
Snipey. I'd have helped the fucking Mechanicus hunt down Frederick if he'd have done that.
Wow. That's uncalled for. Let's see.
You send in your power sword and it comes back with the power unit removed but a monofilament blade. It's extra sharp now.
It was
Damn
really
it,
blunt for
Frederick.
some reason. It was really blunt for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
XP. Hello, Hippo Cat.
It's been annoying me
XP.
like all afternoon.
I am looking at the chart for XP progression. Why do I need so many charts?
Charts. Ah.